Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really zeroing in on the 2026 Hyundai IONIQ 5. We've got a pretty detailed review here, just one source, but it's comprehensive. Our goal, to unpack it all for you, what's actually new, what works well, and frankly, where this electric SUV might still be lacking.
Yeah, it's a big moment for the IONIQ 5. It started strong with that retro-futuristic vibe, but the 2026 model really needs to deliver on the tech front. Does it live up to the future part? And we'll be looking hard at that core feature, the 800-volt system. Is that genuinely enough to keep it ahead of the pack?
That 800-volt number jumps right out, doesn't it? Because
Well,
it's not just about, faster charging times on paper. It feels like it could change how you actually use an EV day to day, especially on longer trips.
yeah.
Performance is cool, yeah, but nobody wants to spend hours tethered to a charger.
Okay, so to really get the IONIQ 5, you've got to start with the foundation. That's the eGMP platform. And it's key because it's electric only. It's not a converted gas car platform. That lets them push the wheels way out, giving you that super long wheelbase, 3,000 millimeters?
Right, 3,000 millimeter. And is that mostly just for, making the inside feel huge? Or does it help with handling, safety too?
Oh, it does both, absolutely. That long wheelbase is why you get that amazing flat floor inside, that lounge feeling. But structurally, spreading the axles improves stability, definitely. And it gives more options for placing safety structures. That's certainly part of why it scores so well in safety tests, like that IIHS Top Safety Pick +8.
Okay, let's talk power then. If you're just commuting, maybe the standard rear-wheel drive is enough, around 225 horsepower.
Yeah, perfectly adequate for most daily driving. Solid performance. But if you want that instant electric kick, that whoosh feeling, then you really need to look at the dual motor all-wheel drive. That pushes you over 320 horsepower. And the acceleration is pretty quick, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, roughly 5.1 seconds. Not bad at all for a family crossover.
And we should probably mention the N version too, right? The IONIQ 5N. It's maybe not for everyone, but it shows what Hyundai can do with this platform. We're talking, what, over 600 horsepower?
Exactly. The N is kind of a halo car. It's packed with track-focused features, drift modes, adjustable regen braking, things like that. It really proves this platform isn't just about comfort. It can handle serious performance.
Okay, performance is great. But let's swing back to what you said really defines this car, that 800-volt charging. Because again, speed is one thing, but charge time is maybe more important for EV adoption. What does 800-volt actually mean for the driver?
It means a massive potential advantage. See, most competitors are still on 400-volt systems. The IONIQ 5's 800-volt setup, if you can find the right charger, specifically a 350-kilowatt DC fast charger, well, that unlocks the ultra-fast speeds. We're talking about getting from 10% battery up to 80% in 18 to 20 minutes, minimal time.
Okay, but that's the catch, isn't it? The if. How common are those 350 kilowatt chargers right now? Are people paying for tech they can't fully use yet?
That's the million-dollar question, or maybe the infrastructure question. It's improving, but yeah, they're not everywhere yet. If you plug into a more common 150-kilowatt station, the 800-volt advantage isn't nearly as dramatic, but the car is future-proofed in that sense. As the network grows, you're ready. And another point, the 2026 long-range models, they're expected to get a slightly bigger battery, maybe up to 84 kilowatt hours. That should push the WLTP range, the European test cycle, which is usually optimistic, past 500 kilometers.
All right, let's move inside. Hyundai keeps calling this a mobile living space.
Yeah.
What makes it feel different from just a regular car interior, besides the flat floor we mentioned?
Well, it's a combination of things. The materials, for one, they've focused on sustainable, eco-friendly fabrics. Feels quite different. And then there are clever design touches. The big one is probably the relaxation function seats up front. They recline almost completely flat. So during that quick 18-minute charge, you can actually properly relax. It's a neat idea.
And when you're sitting there, you've got that big sweep of screens, right? Two 12.3-inch displays side by side for instruments and infotainment.
Yep, very clean, very modern look. And that system is running their updated software, the CCNC Connected Car Navigation Cockpit. The important part there is the OTA capability, over-the-air updates. That means maps, sure, but potentially core vehicle functions and safety systems can get updated without you needing to visit a dealer. That's a big convenience.
Connectivity seems standard fare, wireless charging pad, USB-C ports. Good. But what about digital key 2? Is that just using your phone instead of a key fob? What's the benefit?
Pretty much, yeah. Digital Key 2 lets your smartphone be the key. It often uses ultra-wideband UWB tech, which is more precise and secure than older systems, so you can just walk up, phone in your pocket, and the car unlocks. Start it the same way. No fumbling for a key.
Okay, that's neat. But the feature that seems genuinely unique, the one that gets talked about a lot, is V2L. Vehicle to load. Explain that one.
Ah, yes, V2L. This is genuinely transformative, I think. It turns the car into a mobile power source, like a big battery on wheels. There's a port, often using an adapter in the charge port, that lets you pull power out of the car's main battery. Up to 3.6 kilowatts. Think about that. 3.6 kilowatts is enough to run serious stuff.
Yeah.
Power tools on a job site, your entire campsite, lights, fridge, speakers, or, crucially, maybe even essential home appliances during a power outage. A fridge, some lights, for potentially a day or more. That kind of versatility really does set it apart from a lot of other EVs right now.
Wow, okay. That is a big deal. And just for normal everyday stuff, how's the storage? Boot space?
It's pretty good, actually. Behind the back seats, you're looking at about 745 liters. Fold those seats down, and it opens up to 655 liters. That's very competitive for this size of crossover. Plenty of room for luggage, gear, whatever you need to haul. Okay, so let's do a quick reality check, recap the big strengths we've hit on. You've got that future-ready 800V charging. You've got the massive interior space thanks to the long wheelbase, the really useful V2L feature, and, of course, those top-tier safety ratings, like the Euro NC EPI 5-star. Strong points.
Definitely. Now let's get into the flip side, the compromises. Starting with perhaps the most talked about omission, that rear window. No wiper, still.
Still no wiper, that's right. It's a design choice, clearly, going for that clean, flat look at the back. But functionally, it's a real pain point for owners. In rain, snow, even just road grime, visibility out the back gets seriously compromised. It really feels like a case where style won out over basic practicality.
Yeah, that seems like a strange miss. What other, maybe less obvious, practical downsides should people be aware of?
Well, the front trunk, it's pretty small, especially on the all-wheel drive models. The front motor just takes up too much space, so it's really only useful for maybe stashing your charging cables, not much else, not like some other EVs with big frunks. And like most EVs, really, you will see a noticeable drop in range when it gets really cold outside, something to factor in for winter climates.
I remember reading something about storage inside the cabin, too.
Yes, that's another point. The sliding center console is clever, it offers flexibility, but the overall interior design, it lacks deep, enclosed storage spaces, like a traditional, decent-sized glove box. So organizing smaller items, documents, that kind of thing can be a bit tricky. Things might end up sliding around. Oh, and ride quality. If you go for the big 20-inch wheels, which look great, just be aware they can make the ride feel a bit firmer, maybe even a bit harsh, especially over bumps or rough pavement compared to the smaller wheel options.
Good point on the wheels. And what about maintenance? Specifically those cool matte paint options like that gravity gold color. Is there a catch?
Oh, there's definitely a catch with matte paint. It looks fantastic, no doubt. But it needs special care. You absolutely cannot just run it through an automatic car wash with brushes. It'll ruin the finish. You need specific cleaning products, gentle hand washing techniques, or specialized detailers, and those specialized washes. They can cost way more, like $50, maybe even $100 a pop, compared to washing a car with regular glossy paint. So it's an ongoing cost commitment.
Okay, good to know. Beyond those physical things, what about market perception? I saw some analysts mentioning something called value creep. What's that about?
Right, this came up in reviews from places like Cars.com and Edmunds. It's a bit strategic. So Hyundai made the dual voltage charging cable standard, which is good. Lets you charge easily at home on different outlets. But the concern is that they might be quietly removing other features from the popular mid-level trims like the SEL or maybe the XRT. Features people liked, maybe certain driver assists or comfort items, are potentially being pushed up into only the top most expensive trims to keep the base price of those mid-trims looking competitive.
Okay. So why is that value creep a bigger deal than just, say, a straightforward price increase?
Because it sort of messes with Hyundai's traditional strength, right? They built their reputation on offering a ton of features for the money. Great value. If they start making you stretch to the top limited trim just to get features that used to be available lower down, well, it chips away at that value proposition. It makes it harder for buyers to find that sweet spot in the middle range that has everything they want without paying top dollar. The cost burden shifts. It's important to remember where the IONIQ 5 sits. It's not Hyundai's first EV effort. You can trace the line back through the original IONIQ hatchback. Remember the hybrid, the plug-in, the full EV version? That led to this dedicated EV platform and the IONIQ 5 crossover hitting the scene around 2023, then the sleek IONIQ 6 sedan. It shows they're serious about this.
And when you look at who it's up against in 2026, the elephant in the room is still Tesla.
Yeah.
Right? The Model Y.
Absolutely. The Model Y remains a huge competitor. It generally still offers slightly better overall range figures. And crucially, you get access to Tesla's supercharger network. which, let's be honest, is still seen as more extensive and reliable in many areas. Plus, Tesla has the edge on the perception of advanced tech, like their full self-driving system, even if it's controversial. That appeals to a certain buyer.
Then you've got the more traditional players stepping up, like Volkswagen with the ID.4. How does that compare?
The ID.4 offers a different flavor. It's maybe a bit more conventional in its design, inside and out. It's known for having a comfortable, spacious interior, too. Focuses maybe more on everyday usability. But the big technical difference is charging. The ID.4 is still based on a 400-volt system. So while it might be competitive on price or comfort, if you plan on doing frequent long road trips, the IONIQ 5's faster charging speed is a significant advantage.
And we can't ignore the lower end of the market either. There's a lot happening there.
Definitely not. Especially globally, you have players like MG with the ZS EV, and maybe even more significantly, BYD with models like the Seagull. These brands are really focusing hard on value, offering good basic EVs with decent efficiency at much lower price points. They're really appealing to first-time EV buyers or people who mainly need a city car where huge range and super fast charging aren't the top priorities. Affordability is key for them.
Makes sense. So for someone listening, thinking about the IONIQ 5, what kind of money are we talking about? What's the price range look like?
Well, the estimates suggest the entry-level model, the SE standard range, will likely start around $43,000 USD-ish. Then, as you add range, all-wheel drive features, you climb up quickly. The loaded top trims could easily be $58,000 or maybe even a bit more. And that high-performance IONIQ 5N we mentioned, that's a whole other level. Expect that to start somewhere around $68,000 and probably go up from there with options. Hashtag tag outro.
Well, okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, it feels like the 2026 IONIQ 5 really hangs its hat on that distinctive design, yes, but maybe more critically, on its charging speed. That 800-volt system is the core story.
It really is, and that speed connects directly to the long-term ownership experience and value. Look, there's always the concern with EVs about potential battery replacement costs down the line, or maybe expensive electronic components if they fail. That's fair. But the routine maintenance on an IONIQ 5 is so much simpler than a gas car. You're mostly just checking tires, washer fluid, coolant levels, changing cabin air filters. There's no oil changes, no exhaust system issues, fewer complex moving parts in the powertrain. That lack of regular complex servicing is a huge plus for EV owners over time. It saves money and hassle.
That's a really important distinction, the potential big repair versus the definite reduction in routine upkeep. All right, so we'll leave you, the listener, with this question to chew on. If your number one priority for an EV is slashing charging time on road trips, making those journeys feel almost as quick as a gas car stop, does the IONIQ 5's promise of an 18-minute fast charge outweigh its known quirks like having no rear wiper, that small frunk, or even those analysts' worries about feature shifting between trim levels? Is that charging speed enough to make it your top choice despite those practical compromises? Something to think about?